Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Catherine, where we have inspiring and empowering and kind conversations. And joining me today is one of my favorite people and one of the strongest people I know, Amy Van Dyken. Amy, how are you?
I am so good. It's so good to see you. How are
You
you?
too. Well, I'm doing well. I miss seeing you at church. We always seem to sit in the same area.
We do. I know it's so much fun. I love it. I do miss that as well.
Me too. Well, I'm glad to connect with you on Zoom and have you here in Conversations with Catherine. For people who may be living under a rock, you are a six-time Olympic gold medal swimmer, a spinal cord injury warrior, and adaptive CrossFit competitor. Came in second at the games last year. Woo! How great is
Thank
that,
you.
by the way? Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun. It was really the first time since, I want to say 2002, that I had done anything competitive. So I wasn't quite sure how to feel about it. And then the first event was a swimming event. And of course, I was so nervous because swimming is very different now that I have a spinal cord injury. Went ahead, did it, had fun, and then the rest of the weekend was just having a blast. But I will say, the girl that got third, I looked over at her and I said, "Hey, Sydney, you want to know something that's really going to bother you?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "I'm old enough to be your mother."
I love that, though. She probably appreciated it.
She did. We laughed so hard, but it was amazing to, just get out there and compete with some amazing athletes. And I'll tell you what, if you're having a bad day, pull up some of that stuff on YouTube. To watch a one-armed athlete climb a 15-foot rope in less than 3 seconds is impressive. So you
Absolutely.
can't have a bad day, right? It's so cool. So
Well,
anyway, it was so fun.
that's exactly what I want to talk to you about, because I mentioned you're the strongest person I know, and that strength is beyond just how much you can lift. It goes internally too, to the core of who you are. So I want to talk about that because we have so many people who are feeling lost, out of control, feeling like they don't have the strength to power through this pandemic situation, which is affecting people on so many different levels, physically, emotionally, what have you. You have been one of the most positive people from the day, and for people who don't know, you were paralyzed from the waist down from an ATV accident. From the day you came out of the hospital, not quite the way you wanted to, walking, but you came out this beacon of positivity and resilience. Where does that come from?
I think it's just internal, but it's also a decision, right? So I had died a few times in the accident, and I got to a point where I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? There's a reason that I'm here. And, is it that, I went up to heaven and God was like, oh girl, you got to go back. You got some things you need to work on, or it just wasn't my time. And so from that moment on, I realized that there is a reason that I'm here. There's a reason that we are all here, right? It's not just an accident. There's no coincidences. And so when I realized that, I was like, listen, I could pass away tomorrow, and I don't want to be known as a sourpuss. So I'm going to try to make every day as good as I can, because I am here. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to make it the best here that I can. That's not to say that I don't have awful days. I have awful days, right? But I've learned through the process, through the last 6 years, that, if I'm having a problem with whatever it is, make it a moment, not to make it a whole day, right? So take that problem, kind of wrap it up into a ball, if you will, look at it and say, why is this making me feel this way? And learn something from it, but then move on, because life is too awesome and life is too precious to sit there and dwell on the fact that I can't get my pants on. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
we all have that choice. And when we're in this pandemic, right, I can kind of give an example. I've got people who I'm friends with who are freaking out. We all do, right? Then I've got my sister. And my sister lives in California in like a 1,200 square foot house, which is an amazing house, but she's got 4 kids, a husband, and a dog. And she's happier than she's ever been. So, right, it's like you look at it and you've got to take some good out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've always done, is taken some good out of the bad, because there is always good. You just got to dig a little.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have said also that, you feel like there is a reason for this, and it's finding that meaning, which, if you're out of a job, if you've lost your business, if you are trying to manage multiple kids and being, you know, a working mom and now a teacher, it's
Right?
exhausting, right?
Yeah.
It is exhausting. I mean, let's be honest. And it's tough. You mentioned though that you have those moments and you have to really dig in deep. Is there something that you practice on a regular basis to help you find that place of resilience? Because I know you have said professional athletes are resilient. They have to be. But can we as non-professional athletes tap into some of that?
Absolutely. Find something that gives you joy in every single day and do it. You know, if it is sitting down by yourself and meditating, maybe it's praying, maybe it's reading the Bible, maybe it's talking to your mom on the phone. You know, whatever it is that gives you joy, do it for a few minutes every single day. Take that time for yourself. I think that we get so caught up in the rat race, even in this pandemic, right? I've got to be the teacher. I've got to be a chef. I've got to, you know, be a house cleaner, all of these things. And we forget to focus on ourselves. And I think that one of the things that athletes do is we do have that ability to focus on ourselves. 6 hours a day, I was staring at a black line going over in my head, you know, just different things that I wanted to think about, things that I wanted to talk to myself about. But when we get out of that arena, you don't do it anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
why not? You know, take that moment for yourself and tell your people around you, I need 5 minutes. They'll be fine with it. They'll be okay. Nothing is going to happen in 5 minutes. So that's where it all comes from and that's why I say that professional athletes have that. You have that moment to yourself every single day. So I just think that people who aren't athletes can do that and can have that mindset because you'll be surprised if you can just smile one time a day when you feel you can't, when you have lost your job and all the things, all of a sudden that one smile turns into two, which turns into three, which turns into all of a sudden you're having a great day. So that's why I say that we're resilient because we do have that moment. And every day, you know, when I was in the pool, I would find something to smile about. Is it the person I'm swimming next to? Was it my coach? Was it the fact that, you know, I slipped on the wall on a flip turn? Whatever it was, I always had that moment to smile. And we need to do that as human beings.
Did you discover that immediately when you started training for the CrossFit Adaptive Games? Did you find that that still existed in all its glory, or did you have to re-tap into something for that?
No, I found that because here I was in the gym and I had that moment for myself. I had that hour a day for myself. And that's another reason why I say that exercise is so important. I'm not saying that you need to go out and do CrossFit, but maybe you need to do a yoga practice or whatever makes you happy. Like I know, Catherine, you love to get on the bike, right? Like whatever that is, like that's how I tapped back into it, you know, because I had that time. And I'm so happy when I leave the gym because I had that time for myself and I got my endorphins up and I felt good about myself. And I think we forget to do that. We forget to
Mm-hmm.
feel good about ourselves so often, especially I'm going to go there as women. As women, we forget to know that we are gorgeous, right? It doesn't matter if we have our hair done like Catherine or if you're a hot mess like Estelle, right? You've got to find the beauty in what it is. You know, I'm taking on the quarantine hair, girl. I mean, I am proud of this.
Hey,
So,
let me just say that I
yeah,
have that going on basically 5 days a week. And my husband said to me the other day, you know, don't you find that you feel just a little more joy when you do your hair? And I'm like, I know where you're going with this, okay?
you're like, you zip it. It takes you 5 minutes to take a shower and get ready. You have no idea.
Yeah. So yes, I can totally appreciate that, just letting loose and being free.
Yeah, you have to. And you have to know that you're beautiful no matter what. You know, I mean, I know that a lot of times we look in the mirror and we're like, oh, if I could lose 5 pounds, oh, if I could gain 5 pounds, oh, if I could do this, I would be perfect. If I could do that, I would be perfect. You're perfect as you are. And I think that
Hmm.
we as women need to tap into that. Men tap into that all the time. They know they are handsome. And you just ask them. Just ask them.
That's
They'll
so
tell you.
true.
So we need to take more of that, right? If we can learn anything from the men in our lives, it's that. It's just to know that we are awesome as we are, and it doesn't matter. You know, it's just a mask. And you know what? It's fine if it makes you feel good. It truly
Mhm.
is. It's great. I love a good full face of makeup and some lashes. But at the same time, I also know that, you know what, I can come like this and still feel good about myself. So we need to tap
Yes.
into that, you
It's
know?
all about being authentic and
Yes.
creating the happiness and perspective that we want.
Amen. Absolutely.
So, speaking of awesome, you have a foundation that you started to help other SCI warriors. Tell me a little bit about that because I want people to know that they can be a part of Amy's Army.
Oh, Catherine, thank you. Yeah, it's by the way, we have shirts. So if you join Amy's Army, you can get a shirt. Here's what's cool though, is like I have my sister and two of my really good friends on the board. So I don't pay anybody. So you give me $1, 99 cents is gonna go to kids. So what Amy's Army is, I formed it actually when I was still in the hospital. Because I saw that there was a gap. I didn't know which gap I was going to fall into until later. So the gap that I fell into was we donate custom wheelchairs to kids 18 and under. It might sound weird, but when a child is 16 or 18 and under, pardon me, the only chair that insurance will allow them to get are the wheelchairs that you see at the airport or the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, except for the fact that they weigh 70 pounds. So mom's picking them up. The cushion is not right. So they're getting skin problems. It's too wide. So they're getting shoulder, elbow, wrist problems, which you have to use for the rest of their lives. So we now donate custom wheelchairs to kids 18 and under. We're hoping to get into the homeless community and to help veterans get their custom wheelchairs because it makes you feel so good. We just actually donated a chair. There was a young man who was shot 7 times at Columbine, which is near and dear to my heart because
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Colorado. He didn't have a wheelchair. He was homeless. He had all sorts of problems. Anyway, we just got him a wheelchair. He's feeling fabulous. So that's what we do. We get kids in awesome wheelchairs. And I know that he's older, but he is homeless. So we kind of went into
Right.
that community, which makes me so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes a lot, it takes a lot of money and it takes a lot of whatever to branch out. But that's what we do. We had a 3-year-old, her name is Mia. She had has muscular dystrophy, and it was taking forever, Catherine, to get her chair. I'm like, what is wrong with this? Like, what is the price?
Mm-hmm.
So I get everybody on a conference call. Well, Mia she couldn't decide, did I want pink or purple? And did I want it sparkly or not? And I said, can we
Oh,
not
bless
half
her.
and half this wheelchair? So now she's got a half pink, half purple, all sparkly wheelchair.
Love that. And so you created this in the hospital, which just blows my mind because you were already thinking about other people. It's what we love about you. So people can find out more by going to amyvandyken.org, right?
That is correct. Yes. And you can see some of our success stories. Like I said, you can donate, you can get a shirt. We're hoping to get dog collars soon because why not? Dogs need to be a part of Amy's Army as well. So, and just
Absolutely.
know that every penny goes to these kids. So, just it's amazing. Yeah. It's fun. I love doing it.
Well, you're amazing. And thank you for all that you do and continue to do to spread kindness and positivity and really encourage us to be our courageous, resilient selves that we can all be, whether we're an athlete or not.
Thank you. It was so awesome chatting with you.
You too. Mwah, mwah, mwah.